with tattooing, which includes some transfusion transmitted diseases, and information on tattooing has been included in screening interviews like blood donors and maybe the reason for deferral. So as per my point of view, what is tattoos? It is a fashion or risk. So from my point of view, I think it's painful. It involves several diseases and it affects to body and health, and it's also expensive and sometimes it leads to irritation and itching. So what are the types of tattoos? There are five types of tattoos, that is traumatic tattoos, subcultural connotations, identification, cosmetic, functional and medical. So, in the American, as per the American Academy of Dermatology, distinguish five types of tattoos that I have said: traumatic tattoos, and which is also known as natural tattoos, and that result from injuries, especially asphalt from road injuries or pencil lead. Amateur tattoos, professional tattoos, both via traditional methods, and modern tattoos, machines, cosmetic tattoos, and which is also known as permanent makeup and medical tattoos. So let us start with traumatic tattoos. So traumatic tattoos occurs when a substance such as asphalt or gunpowder is rubbed into a wound. So it is known as traumatic tattoos, and it is some kind of accident or trauma. So these are particularly difficult to remove as they tend to be spread across several layers of skin. So subcultural connotations, many tattoos serve as rites of passage, marks of status and rank, symbols of religious and spiritual devotions, decoration for bravery, sexual laws, and marks of fertility, pledges of love, amethysts and talismans, protections, and as punishments like the marks of outcast. So these are all types of tattoos comes under the subcultural connotations. So identification. So people throughout the history have also been forcibly tattooed for means of identification. So by means of identification, some persons will tattoo themselves. So a well-known example, as we can give that to the Nazi practice of forcibly, like they are tattooing for concentration camp that imitate with identification numbers during the Holocaust as parts of the Nazis' identification system. So identification system. So these tattoos are only for identification. That they are the one of the type of tattoos. Identification and cosmetic. So cosmetic tattoos are the permanent type of tattoos that they are also known as permanent makeup. Permanent makeup is the use of tattoos to enhance eyebrows, lips, liner, and or lipstick, eyes liner, and even on molds, usually with natural colors, as the designs are intended to resemble makeup. So they are generally cosmetic tattoos are for cosmetic basis, like they are done like in eyebrows, lips, eyeliner, in like to create molds, etc. So as a growing trend in the US and UK, so is to place artistic tattoos over the surgical scars of the mastectomy. So more women are choosing these cosmetic tattoos to be done. So what is functional tattoos? Functional tattoos are used primarily for a purpose other than aesthetics. One such use is to tattoo Alzheimer patients with their names so they may be easily identified if they go missing. So functional tattoos, like they are tattooing with their names. So it is known as functional tattoo. What is medical tattoo? Medical tattoos are used to ensure instruments and they are properly located, like repeated application for radiotherapy and for the areola in some forms of breast reconstruction. And tattooing has also been used to convey medical information about the wearer, for example, blood group, medical condition, etc. So the materials and methods which are used for tattooing are methods for tattooing. So methods for tattooing. So the process or technique of tattooing, creating a tattoo, it involves the insertion of pigment into the skin's dermis. Traditionally, tattooing often involved rubbing pigments into cuts. Modern tattooing almost always requires the use of a tattoo machine and often procedures and accessories to reduce the risk to human health. So the picture you can see that it shows the materials for tattooing, that it includes tattooing machine, some box, gloves, some needles, some rubber bands, etc. So these materials are involved for tattooing. So what are the importance of tattooing? So as per the research, it is formed that it is a form of art. It shows your beautification and it is to consider to be fashion. It is a kind of fashion. And as per the modern mythology, it shows it is a symbol of pride and it is a symbol of religious and spiritual devotion. And diseases which are associated with tattoos, that there are several diseases which are associated with tattoos because if the equipment used to create a tattoo is contaminated with infected blood, and you can contract with various blood-borne diseases, including methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus (MRSA), which is known as MRSA, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and MRI complications. So there are some of the diseases which is associated with these tattoos, that hepatitis B, hepatitis C, human immunodeficiency virus, it's HIVs, syphilis, Chagas disease, or other disease. Hepatitis B. So in the earlier studies, it is associated between the tattoos and hepatitis, focus on hepatitis B, for which a serological marker has long been available. So this is known as serum hepatitis, which is transmitted by the tattoos needles and was responsible for the closing of tattoo parlors in the New York State in 1961. And hepatitis B, hepatitis C. The transmission of HCV infection through tattooing has been demonstrated or suggested in case report and case series. So this hepatitis B is a cross-sectional study. As per the cross-sectional study between the tattooing and HCV infection and several others were unable to demonstrate a statistical significant association despite obtaining odds ratio greater than 1. The findings of these studies that accounted for the role of confounding by using these methods of restriction, matching, or multivariate analysis are shown with this hepatitis C, human immunodeficiency virus, HIV/AIDS virus. So the tattoo is occurred by HIV. The one of the disease which is occurred by tattooing is HIV/AIDS. The transmission of HIV infection, which is attributed to tattooing, has been suggested, and it is theoretical possible. So in the Quebec City, Canada, tattooing was not found to be associated with HIV infection either in male or prisoners. Syphilis. So transmission of syphilis through saliva. It is by through saliva used to moisten tattoo needles by a tattoo artist who probably had oral mucus patches were reported as early in 1853. So it is be studied by epidemiology observation studies that this syphilis is found because of this tattoos, Chagas disease. Chagas disease. So although biological plausible, the association between tattooing and Chagas disease has not been demonstrated. The only study to look at the association between tattooing and Chagas disease was a survey of a 205 Brazilian conscripts who volunteered to donate blood. So the study lacked the power for the intended assessment. So the other types of diseases which are found through this tattooing, that tattooing was found to be significantly associated with hepatitis D virus infection, but not with GB virus, hepatitis G virus infection in Taiwanese prostitutes. So these are some of the points which I get from the while researching from the tattooing, that ornamental tattooing has been popular for a long time among sailors, the military, and also the criminals. So there are more than 4,000 tattoo parlors, and the number of tattoos has been estimated from between 1 lakh. The actual mean age for tattooing for the first tattoo is that 16.5 years. So the example or case which is found out from the tattooing, in the case of tattooing, this is exemplified by a recent case report of a young man who had tattoos and a pierced nipple and was thought to have an HIV infection. So this presumptive diagnosis was in part made because of his body art. So one man who found who find of HIV infection was in the research, it is found out because of his art, because of a tattoo. But later on, after his condition deteriorates to a critical level, this later he was correctly diagnosed and having type 1 diabetes. So the conclusion for this, that if you are considering to getting a tattoo for whatever reason, have your mind made up and don't select a tattoo that you will regret placing permanently on your skin. So remember the point that the expense and pain associated with removing tattoos is typically greater than the expense and pain associated with applying them. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm done with the presentation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, Mali.
Okay. So next girl is Shafia Noori. Shafia Noori. Shafia Noori is not there.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Shaida Naz from BCom Foreign Trade. So, my topic for of wars. Decorative tattooing was looked down upon, and religious tattoos was mainly practiced in Egypt and Syria. A tattoo is a form of body modification made by inserting ink, dye, or pigments, either permanent or temporary, into the skin to form a design. The art of making tattoo is called tattooing. Tattoo has three broad categories, that is purely decorative, symbolic, and pictorial. A tattoo design is made by puncturing the skin with needles and injecting ink, dye, and pigments to the deep layer of skin. Earlier, tattoo was used to be done manually. So, here are some of the objectives. Reasons people get tattooed. How does tattoo machine work? Is tattooing safe? Harmful effects of getting tattoo. Does tattooing causes death? So let's see reasons why people get tattooed. To identify themselves. Most people get tattooed to mark a significant aspect of themselves or their lives. Honor loved ones. Many people honor their family and loved ones in a tattoo design. Black and gray tattoos are most popular for honoring loved ones in a realistic tattoo style. For style, tattoos are also favored for making a fashion statement. If you want to express your own unique style and form, any form of body art can help you. How does tattoo machine work? A tattoo machine works by puncturing the skin with needles and inserting ink, dye, or pigments into the deep layer of the skin and forming a design. Is tattoo ink safe? Tattoo ink and permanent makeup may contain hazardous substances, for example, substances that can cause cancer, genetic mutation, toxic effects on reproduction, allergies, or other adverse effects on health. Tattoo ink contains a wide range of chemicals and heavy metals, including some that are potentially toxic. There are plenty of evidence showing that tattoo pigments travel around the body. So, here are some of the harmful effects of getting a tattoo. You can get allergies, health risk, bloodborne diseases may lead to infection. You will not be able to donate blood. Tattoo can Tattoos can be problematic in cooperative world. Feeling change, but tattoo doesn't. Getting a tattoo can be painful. Diseases may transmit through tattooing. Allergies regarding tattooing can be a problem. Does tattooing cause death? Tattooing and piercing break the skin and may cause bleeding. They cause open wounds and infections is possible. Infections at the site may cause permanent deformity, scarring, several illness and even death. So conclusion, we can conclude from the previous discussion that there are many important advantages and disadvantages of tattooing. In the end, you have to evaluate all the pros and cons of getting a tattoo for yourself in order to make a profound decision about whether tattoo are for you or not. However, always keep in mind that tattoos are long term commitment and that you should choose design that are really in line with your core values in order to be happy with your tattoos for a long time. Thank you. Done, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Tehnia Jabin from NCB final year. My topic is disinfection. Ma'am, is my screen?
Yes, yes, it is visible. Go ahead, ma.
Introduction. Pathogenic organisms can be introduced into a veterinary clinic or animal housing facility through a variety of ways. For this reason, biological risk management protocols are necessary to prevent, contain, and eliminate the spread of diseases. Disinfection protocols, when implemented correctly, can be a cost-effective means of reducing pathogenic organisms and are an important step uh, in any biological risk management program. Prevention of disease is statistically easier and more cost-effective than addressing an outbreak situation. Methods of disinfection: chemical disinfectants, alcohol, chlorine and chlorine compounds, formaldehyde, glutaraldehyde, hydrogen peroxide, iodophos, orthophthaldehyde, peracetic acid, and miscellaneous inactive agents, other germicides, metals as microbicides, and ultraviolet radiation, and regulatory framework for disinfectants and sterilants. Levels of disinfection. There are three levels of disinfection. High level disinfection, the destruction of all viruses, vegetative bacteria, fungi, mycobacterium, and some but not all bacterial spores. For LCGs, HLD is officially defined as the ability to kill 106 mycobacteria. The efficacy of HLD is dependent on several factors and includes the type and level of microbial contamination, effective pre-cleaning of the endoscope, presence of biofilm, physical properties of the object, concentration, temperature, pH, and exposure time to the germicide, and drying after rinsing to avoid diluting the disinfectant. Next level of disinfection is intermediate level, the destruction of all mycobacteria, vegetative bacteria, fungal spores, and some non-lipid viruses, but not bacterial spores. Third level is low level disinfection, a process that can kill most bacteria except mycobacteria or bacterial spores, most viruses except some non-lipid viruses and fungi. Water disinfection. Water disinfection means the removal, deactivation, or killing of pathogenic microorganisms. Microorganisms are destroyed or deactivated, resulting in termination of growth and reproduction. When microorganisms are not removed from drinking water usage will cause people to fall ill. Sterilization is a process related to disinfection. However, during the sterilization process, all present microorganisms are killed, both harmful and harmless microorganisms. Next is chemical disinfection. Chemical disinfection consists of adding a disinfectant to the water, which reacts with the organic matter and microbial organisms. Most frequent chemical disinfection compounds are chlorine and chlorine dioxide, chlorine, and chloramines on one hand, and ozone on the other hand, depending on the water. Depending on the water, the chemical disinfection efficiency can be lowered. For instance, at higher pH, when using chlorine or with high organic matter concentrations. Byproducts originating from the oxidative reactions can also be generated by chemical disinfection. Some may have adverse health effects. Conclusion: when properly used, disinfection and sterilization can ensure the safe use of invasive and non-invasive medical devices. However, current disinfection and sterilization guidelines must be strictly followed. Thank you, ma'am.
Everyone. My name is Dania Mois. I am pursuing my Bachelor of Arts. I'm a third year PLP student. And the topic that I chose for today's presentation is what is in our street food. So I'm not a microbiology student, so I was not much aware about the science of food, but I chose this topic because it looked the most fascinating to me out of all because of the questions that arose around it, like what is so different about the street food and why do people often fall sick consuming it and why do our elders ask us to refrain from it and how is street food any different from our homemade food, right? So let's see. Street food, it actually refers to a variety of foods and beverages prepared and sold by vendors in public places for immediate consumption. Street vended foods are predisposed to contaminators because they are sold in the open and are often not covered. Additionally, since street vendors prefer to take their products to their customers, they often operate from places such as bus terminals, schools, marketplaces, etc. So, such locations usually do not meet food and safety requirements. In developing countries, one of the main challenges is to provide a sufficient amount of food for the entire population. However, another dilemma in these countries is food safety. More than 200 types of diseases are estimated to be caused or spread by food, causing long-term health problems in elderly, pregnant women, children, all sorts of people. And it is also estimated that 2.5 billion people worldwide consume street food daily. And the sale of ready-to-eat or RTE food is frequent. And the main reasons for street food sales are associated with the growing demand for low-cost RTE foods, but also with the poverty that most citizens face. So while researching for this presentation, I did a study on an article from Ethiopia where they investigated the food handling system of street vendors. And they found out that 51% of the vendors admitted that they washed food before cooking, and 14% warmed the food before serving it to their customers. And it was also noted that some of the foods were prepared on the same surface more than twice by 73% of them. And 39% vendors claimed that they didn't wash the preparation surface before reuse, while 25% of them reused oil for frying. And lastly, most of them stored their food in covered utensils, and none of them could afford storage in refrigerators because electricity is expensive. The hazard analysis. So, food safety has become an important public health issue around the globe and a great concern to everybody due to the widespread foodborne diseases. And major sources contributing to microbial contamination are the place of preparation, the utensils for cooking and serving, the raw materials, time and temperature of cooking the foods, and the personal hygiene of the vendors. So, various studies have actually identified the sources of food safety issues involved in street foods to be microorganisms belonging to the genus Bacillus, Staphylococcus, Clostridium, Vibrio, Listeria, and Salmonella. The conditions under which some street vendors operate are reported to be very unsuitable for the preparation and selling of food. And the major sources from where these contaminants can enter the preparation area are from these four: food handling and water disposal, water and raw materials. So, unsanitary handling of street foods by some of the vendors has been commonly found to be the source of contamination, because the hands of the food handlers are the most important vehicle for the transfer of organisms from faces, nose, skin to directly the food. And few vendors congregate in overcrowded areas where there are high numbers of potential customers, which usually provide limited access to basic sanitary facilities. And these areas are they act as habitats for rodents, breeding points of flies, and growth of microorganisms. So the raw materials is also important, because for the safety of the street food, because of its microbiological, chemical, and physical hazards that they might produce. In order to keep prices down, some vendors purchase cheap and adulterated ingredients, and it's associated with the risks associated with the food. So, foodborne illness is actually caused by consuming contaminated foods and beverages. Many different disease-causing microbes, pathogens can contaminate foods. So there are many different types of foodborne diseases and illnesses, and most foodborne diseases are infectious, caused by bacteria, viruses, and parasites. Other diseases are poisonings caused by harmful toxins or chemicals that have contaminated food. And due to foodborne illnesses like food poisoning, typhoid, cholera, or stomach flu, people complain of diarrhea, vomiting, abdominal cramps, nausea, fever, joint or backaches, fatigue because of street food. This is where I have taken all the information from. This is my references slide, and thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, Dania. Okay, fine.
Good afternoon, ma'am and dear friends. My name is Steffi David. I am from Become Computers 3D. My topic is about fascinating world of microbes. Meaning of microbes: an extremely small living things that you can only see with a special space.
Just a second, Steffi. Can you keep this in presentation mode? This is not in presentation mode. It would be more clear and visible. Yeah, presentation mode. Yeah, now that's it.
My topic is about fascinating world of microbes. Meaning of microbes: an extremely small living thing that you can only see with a special piece of equipment, and that you can cause any kind of diseases. What microbiologists do: work in almost every industry, from food, agriculture, and pollution control to biotechnology, paramedics, and all health government agents, and labs in education as teachers and researchers. That's why people who become microbiologists usually focus on a particular microbe or research area. Bacteriologists focus on a bacteria. Virologists specialize in a virus. Mycologists study fungi. Epidemiologists track down on outbreaks of diseases. Immunologist studies how the body defends itself against microbial invades. These are the related pictures of microbes. What is the word of microbes? Microorganisms or microbes are the microscope organism that exists as unicellular, multicellular or cell crystals. Microorganisms are widespread in nature and difficult to life, but some can cause serious harm. They can be divided into 6 major types: bacteria, archaea, fungi, protozoa, algae, and virus. This is related to the microbes, which is bacteria, fungi, protozoa, algae. Factors about microbes. Microbes outnumber all over the species and make up most living matter. 60% of the earth biomass. Less than 0.5% of the estimate 2 to 3 billion microbial species have been identified. Microbial cycling of these critical chemical elements such as carbon and nitrogen help keep us in the world inhabitable for life forms. Microbes generate at least half of the oxygen we breathe. Microbial cell efficiency and deficiency. In this bacteria, the cell wall forms a griddy structure of uniform thickness around the cell in the responsible for the characteristic shape of cell. So curious of inside in the cell wall, we can rigor plasma layer, and in the plasma membrane that is usually closely offset by the wall layer. This is organized into 3 categories: internal structures, cytoplasm, chloride, bacteria, chromosome, plasmid, ribosomes, and storage granules. Cell envelope. Cell member, pediogalic cell wall or an outer lipped member, only found in the gram-negative cells. External structure. These are Phalangian, Fimbrian, sex pulse, and Gaccoclase. This is about related to the flow chart. Conclusion is, most of the microbes in humans' lives are harmonious existence with the human cells, but a decrease and infection can be caused when this balance is disputed or when the body of immune system is weak. Microbes can transfer genetic information between one and another, and this is one of the means by which antibiotic resistance is spread among the microbial population. The process in the origin of the MSRS. Beneficial microbes have an important role to play in breakdown of human waste in sewage plants. Thank you.